The return voyage from KBO 2169 should have taken 22 years. He should have awoken from stasis at Cage Dynamics' reintegration facility. He should have been met by the company's medical staff and reorientation team. The tidy stack of notional should-haves collapsed under the weight of the implausible realities surrounding him. He set the pillow aside and scanned the recspace for the 10th time. The armless couch retained the double-dip depression that once cupped his backside. The touch-tone area rug displayed the same fractal nightmare pattern that randomly skip-channeled between fecal brown and feral blue. A Gibson MIDI sitar squatted in the corner, the instrument's bronzed hollow body draped by his amp jacket. The rest of his possessions were right where he'd left them. Hence the wrong. All the gear, including the shorted area rug, should be cryo-cached at Cage's storage facility in Tampa. It had shipped out a month before the launch, 98 years ago. He'd surrendered his lease on the Hive the next day and hyperlooped across the country to enter quarantine at the Cape. Quatrain stood with the intention of pacing. A molten pang skewered his mandible. He swayed as his headspace orbited the agonizing locus. Jesus! He reached for his jaw with the intention of ripping the molar from its septic bed. An alien sensation stayed his trembling hand. The effervescence spawned deep in his brain. Its tingle bloomed into multi-pronged filaments and caressed his skull. Syrupy sweetness engulfed his tongue, by all the blessed off-planet bastards tasting like hello. The delicate voice's proximity provoked a spine-jarring flinch. His gaze arced to the doorway leading into the kitchen. A man and a woman stood at its threshold. Both held silver barstools before them like guests bearing hive-warming gifts. Quatrain recognized the chromium barstools from his erstwhile breakfast nook, but the two people holding them were a mystery. The dissonance between familiar and foreign made it tough to gauge what unsettled him more, the strangers in his hive, or their surreal skin tones. He balled his hands. Adrenaline primed his muscles. Fight or flee? Flee or fight? Who was he kidding? He had nowhere to go, and one genteel slap to his inflamed jaw would send him into convulsions. He took the rift less traveled and gaped. The woman entered the recspace first. Strike that. The yellow woman entered the recspace first. Slight and soundless, her body sported a sleeveless azure onesie, her skin a mustard hue. Not the day-glow mustard favored by old Oakland's sketchier sangy vendors. More the spicy Dijon variety popular across the bay, the kind Clelise adored. The yellow woman set the stool on the rug, 10 feet from the couch, and took up a perch like a canary alighting in its cage. The man loitered in the doorway. His pink skin rivaled the sockeye fillets Quatrain had sourced from the Uber market on 4th Street 4 generations ago. The energetic shade masked most of the man's wrinkles. A carapace of fatigue cemented his age at twice the woman's. Color him 60, but use the entire paint wheel. His sleeved onesies scintillated with thousands of rainbow droplets. None settled on a single color for more than a second. Quatrain's gaze skittered between the interlopers. They had 2 arms and 2 legs apiece, 1 head each, and 0 added appendages. That made them bog-standard hominids, save for their skin. The woman raised a yellow hand, palm out.
Relax, Mr. Dyer. We're here to help you.
Quatrain registered her soothing tone and correct use of his last name. The pink man broke from his torpor and placed the stool next to the woman. He eased his frame onto its seat and scraped together a stingy grin. It further reduced the pair's threat posture. Quatrain's mind and mouth reconnected.
Who are you?
The woman raked Dijon fingers through her hair.
All you need to know is that you're safe. Please sit, Quentin.
She knew his given name, too, the one he hadn't used since he was